It's a Jeep. It's a Cherokee. It's an experimental Jeep. It's a Jeep XJ. So if you followed my adventures, I've been tracking down wiring gremlins for a while, and got it running okay for a little bit, and then suddenly I've had an issue with the high idle. Usually only does that when it's warmed up, so really technically it's probably this guy right here. This is a factory original throttle position sensor. I've put my intake through some abuse while trying to figure out how it all works, what it's all for, how it's all put together. Been unplugging, plugging back in, taking throttles off, changing gaskets, cleaning. But high idle is probably that. However, I also realized that I've had my switches for this engaged for a while. So it might also just be that. That's the cruise control. Cable attaches over here, applies pressure. So I'm just gonna, I don't use the cruise control for anything. I never have. So that's just gonna get disconnected. In fact, I'm gonna remove it, and if I still have it and anybody wants a cruise control module or the servo or whatever this piece is, let me know, because I think just to free up some space and move some things around, I'm gonna delete it, because I have never a day in my life used cruise control. Not my jam. I'm also, my windshield washers have stopped working, so rather than fix it right now, I'm gonna get the bottle out of here too. It probably needs some repair. Like, this definitely needs repairing. I believe that's the level sensor. I don't think that works anymore. Looks a bit toasty, so I'm gonna get anything out of here that doesn't need to be in here, and then I'm gonna relocate the vacuum reservoir from behind the bumper to somewhere up in that area. It can live a happy, carefree life. So if you're gonna delete it, like the Philistine that I am, let's get a close-up right there. There's a couple tabs on the wire. Press them in here and there as you're gently working it back and forth. I am trying to get this, well, maybe not so gently, but it's out. I'm trying to get this stuff all removed gently because someone else may want this, and it's all still in fairly good condition. I'll also, make sure I'm not breaking any vacuum lines in here. We're gonna tie some things up a little bit differently. But yeah, as part of all this, we'll remove this, set it aside, and it's on there with what looks like 3 8mm bolts on this mounting bracket, and then it should just lift right out. And this looks like it's just got a couple of either 10 or 11mm bolts just holding it up there. Actually, it may be mounted there too. Now, we'll find out. First things first, just want to confirm these are 3 8mm self-tapping screws. They're gonna hold this in. So 1, 2, 3. I don't see anything else that should keep it in there. I'm not gonna bore you with making you watch me unscrew something, so we'll pull that out in just a second. One more quick note, this bottom screw in here, you might want to get a small 1/4-inch ratchet, hold it in place with one hand, and you're going to want to crank it with the other because it's a tight fit right in there. Or if you really want to just have it nice and easy, you can do this without the battery in it all. But I've got some lines tied down right now that I don't want to remove, so you can just use 2 hands. Ta-da! There it is. There is your cruise control. 3 bolts popped right out. There's your vacuum actuator line right there. And there's the cable that goes all the way over to the throttle. Takes up a bit of real estate. That's the space we're left with. Once that's pulled off there, I can either just put the screws back in or leave it open, get some extra airflow up in there. Next step, I'm gonna pull up the actual vacuum canister because I believe I want to put it somewhere around right here, maybe right back there. Now if you'll travel underground with me, let's take a look up in there and see where the vacuum canister. This one is zip tied right up here on this like piece of metal. This was in a bit of a front end accident, so I do want to pull this out. It's just zip tied, I think. Oh, actually no, it looks like we have a 10mm mounting bolt there, which I don't know if this is tied into. I think it is. So we'll get this unbolted or unclipped or whatever it is. Most of the time, these are they're usually in the front bumper. Well, at least sometimes they are. We'll get this cut out of there and pull it out. Now, if you're afraid to do what I'm doing, good. You probably should be, because I don't know what I'm doing. The purpose of me documenting any of this is not really a tutorial or to show anybody anything. It's just to answer a question. Can a guy who's got just basic wrenching experience but no technical understanding of how to diagnose and repair vehicles, can he work on a Jeep Cherokee? Because everybody said it's so easy to work on. Can a guy with limited tools, limited knowledge, except for what you can pull off Google, which anybody can do, can he change stuff around? Can he do stuff? Can he get correct information? And can I put it into action and do stuff to the Jeep and keep it running? Keep this 30-year-old vehicle alive. And so far, so good. But do your own research. Don't look to me for answers, because I have no idea what I'm doing, and I look forward to comments on this video explaining to me why I'm an idiot for doing what I'm doing. Other people have done it. They may be just as dumb. Tell me why they're dumb. Tell me why I'm dumb. Leave it in the comments below. The worst part of working in a cramped garage is I keep dropping my wrenches into buckets of oil. We're just gonna let that one soak overnight. Lubricate the gears in the little turny bit over there. Wasn't on purpose, but yeah, no, yeah. There it is. This was definitely a very fun and super necessary for me to do. Just checking this out. Looks like there might be some separation going on this one, so I may need to get a new vacuum canister, but I'll have to investigate this a little further and test it out and see now that I got it up here. But it should be actually pretty easy to test things now, because really all I got to do is hook this up to this vacuum line right here, and yeah, I know that's not how it's supposed to be, but I can just throw that right in there. And it will fit. If I want to actually mount it, I don't need to. Don't even need to mount it, because this little pill will drop right in there, and my hood should be able to close, but I'm probably going to shove it back there. Yeah, less line to worry about, less vacuum. And oh yeah, here's the connector tube. Was running down there to here, so you can see it runs from roughly there to roughly there. And so the vacuum canister, the cruise control, both running off the same line here. All these lines are brittle plastic, so it wouldn't surprise me if there was some kind of crack that I can't see. That's actually part of why I'm pulling stuff out. I'm just trying to simplify this system a little bit and make it a little easier to put back together. by getting rid of things that I don't ever use or don't feel like I need. So washer fluid not even working. Why wouldn't I pull that out? Probably need to clean that up, do some wiring and stuff anyway. Possible vacuum issue causing high idle. Want to eliminate that. So might as well relocate the canister. Now, onto this thing. To remove this, you got 2 screws going into the firewall back here. They're 10mm screws. The bundle is in my way. Trying to have good safety practices here since I'm coming into contact with so many wires. Just try to remember when you're working under here, changing things, yanking things out, plugging and unplugging. Take your battery off or out. All right, there's those 2. Let's see what we've got to work with now. Will this just lift out? I think it might. Wait, oh, will it slide? No. No, it's held down. My worst fears are confirmed. Yeah, it is in fact held down by that bracket. So to get this out, let's see what size this is. 11? Ooh, looks like an 11. It's a rusty 10. So that will call for an 11 deep socket to get that out. There we go. And while you have this out, probably check on the, actually, is that the only bracket? No, there's 2. Yeah, if you want to go the extra mile, probably remove both of these. Check on your fuse box, make sure everything's Gucci back there, but that was pretty easy. And the rest of it will just come out with hand pressure here. Still got a couple threads to go. And then that'll lift. That'll lift out at some point. Ah, there we go. Just caught in the plastic. Yeah. Oh my goodness, now it's just caught. See, this does have a little cut in it, so you should be able just to knock it out from under if you got enough room. But this is a tight space. Should lift right out. And then, of course, that goes to the motor. Let me get this lifted out. I need 2 hands for this. Then we'll check it out together. All right, now that we've got it lifted out, I can actually see what's going on down here. I might be wrong, but it looks like, again, this is the first time I'm ever seeing the bottom of this. It looks like you've got 2 wiper motor, not wiper motors. These are the washer pumps down here. Got a plug there, a plug there, and you have 2 fluid lines coming out. One's going into the bundle off somewhere over there, and the other one's going to the other side, presumably to come up underneath somewhere down here and up into the there and there. I know they both come up through and plug in there because I have had the cowl open. That's a different cowl than came with it. Original one was too damaged from that front end collision that this was in. So to take this out, whoa, whoop, getting everything all wet. Good thing I unplugged everything. You have to take the sensor connection, the electronic connection up here, which I think is a level sensor. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it is. Got to take that off. There's 2 electric plugs there and there. You need to tuck up out of the way. And then you've got the 2 fluid washer lines that I'm going to have to get creative with. Keep them up out of the way. Yay. All right, so this is off for now. You can see where those fluid lines plug in here and there. Some rusted screws, and they're 2 separate plugs. One is this 2 blade style plug here. Other one, just a regular plug. I don't know if that means that one has a different function and that they did some rewiring, or I don't know if that's factory or not. You tell me. But here you go. That's out in one piece. Let's take a peek inside. Look at the inner workings. So you do have a float in there. So that was right. That is the level sensor. And that's not really moving anywhere. So that's probably busted anyway. And then you've got the 2 nozzles in there. They look removable. You can probably just unscrew them from the bottom. And then it just drops right in there perfectly. So if you need one of these, I got one. All right. Now, I know that this has been pulled out and messed with before. How do I know that? Well, we got some splices, some new wires down here, and I believe that's a blower motor, but I'm not sure. They redid some wiring, some soldering's been done here, which is okay. But we've uncovered that. So what I've done here with these, I just plumbed them together. Those are the fluid delivery devices. Yeah. So everything else in there looks pretty good. What I'm thinking is we're going to clean up this canister and see if I can't just drop it right down in there in the corner and just run the little bit of tubing back over to it. All right, now what I'm thinking is, because I'm replacing a whole run of line here. Instead of having all of that brittle tubing, I'm gonna snip off just a little bit of the end. I'll insert that down into our elbow there. Then I'm gonna take a little tiny bit of surgical tubing, cut that to size, and I can actually get that quite far over here before friction takes over. And then what we're gonna do on the other side as well, where that T is, right over here, I'm gonna jam another one in there and slide on the surgical tubing on this side, and then there you go. This is medical grade suction tubing, by the way. Don't ask me why I have it. All right, it worked. I can put a couple of clamps on there, make the connection a little tighter, but it's like a perfect fit. So we'll check on that, make sure that it's not too much suction that's going to collapse it. I don't think it will. It's not that much suction. And these are designed to run some, pretty concentrated suction in the hospital. So there we go. We have eliminated cruise control, washer, fluid reservoir, and we've relocated that jug for the moment until I can figure out how I really want to mount that, or if I want to mount that somewhere, it can just sit in there pretty tightly. I can zip tie it to the AC lines if I want, but now I can actually get in there. I can take more of a close look at some other stuff. I have a little bit more room to work. We can mount, other things. Some people mount auxiliary fuse boxes, but there you go. That's what that looks like with that space freed up. It's a little less crowded in there. You can move some things around. Yeah, I really didn't mean this to be a Jeep XJ complete overview review video, but I just have to say one last thought here. Everybody says it's reliable. Is it reliable? After 30 years, you can rely on one thing. Something's going to go wrong. Can you fix it when it does? Now, if it's not related to a sensor that you just can't get anymore, or a part that you can't get OEM anymore that's not reliable on it, mechanically, easy to work on. It's like playing with adult Legos. You take pieces off, put pieces on. It's fun. It's fun. Is this my daily driver? No. It's not. Could it be? I mean, the more used to working on it I get, the more I get to know it, I think I could comfortably daily drive this vehicle. As is, stock. Definitely could daily drive this vehicle. It's fun to work on. It's fun. I came home stressed from work because I couldn't fix something at work. Started wrenching on this because the most difficult thing mechanically on this, you can still do. And I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. So if I can do it, keep it running, you can probably do it. Did I need to remove all this stuff? No, I did not need to remove all this stuff. But everybody's been telling me, vacuum leak, vacuum leak, vacuum leak, make sure there's no cracked lines. There's a lot of lines that hide behind stuff in all kinds of machinery. So I pulled things I knew were connected to the vacuum, things I know I don't use that are just a potential failure point, pulled them out. Wiper fluid reservoir needs to get fixed anyway. Need to fix the motors in it and drop something back in there. It's been a pleasure. Criticize me. It's the best way for me to learn. Chasing a wise man and he'll be yet wiser still. I'm going to try not to be a fool. I'm not going to take offense if you tell me I'm an idiot. I'm going to read it. I'm going to research it. And I'm just going to do my best to absorb it and continue on. So if you're here because you just like Jeeps, I like you. You're good. You're good. We did it, boys. But wait, there's more. I realized yesterday I completely forgot to post any actual test footage of whether that fixed anything. And I don't know that the vacuum reroute fixed anything. It definitely works. Fires right up. Like, I still had the high idle though. So it wasn't the vacuum leak. But then I started unplugging and replugging my throttle position sensor over and over while it was on the side of the road idling high. And every time I unplugged it, it idled down. Then when I would plug it back in, it would idle up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So finally, when I plugged it back in, it held a lower idle. And I just started up a minute ago and idle seems right. So malfunction, circuitry worked itself out. Don't know. Probably bad sensor, if I had to guess. But maybe just shoving voltage at it repeatedly got something to start working correctly. I mean, I'm not going to complain. Stranger things have happened. I'll take a win where I can get it. What was the last Cherokee video I did? Little victories. Well, it works. We'll take it. Take it for another test drive later. A little bit more of an abusive, exhaustive test drive, just to see kind of like how all the surgical tubing is going to handle at really high temperatures after a long period of time. And then we'll be on to the next thing, which will be charcoal canister. Whether or not it's actually plugged into anything, that's a mystery. I actually don't think it is. I think it's just acting as an extra vacuum reservoir right now. It's definitely not hooked up to the fuel line. So we'll see if we can sort that out, or maybe even just build a new charcoal canister. That's possible. But we'll see. So little victory number 2. High idle is back to a low idle. So join me next time as we tackle more gremlins in the Jeep Cherokee. What do you guys think?